Gonna tank the bubble beam, bank the energy and pivot out into Mareep the mighty sheep, and the opponent sends out Seel. That is definitely not a Mareep counter. The opponent already down one shield, straight for the discharge. The opponent now all shields down. Mareep getting torn apart by the lick damage. However, I can still overfarm, fire off a discharge, secure the knockout, and we're gonna have a move ready to go for whatever does return. The opponent sends out Dino, and Dino not gonna appreciate this body slam. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Spice Zone. My name is not Boy Ghost, but huge shout out to my factions teammate Boy Ghost. This is a tribute to him. We are repping that spice, as you can see on screen. Coverage, not the best, not the worst. Bulk, as always, a big fat F. Top meta threats, pretty much everything. Why Not and Shelmet, both pretty common, and apparently they beat the entirety of my team. However, I had a rank 4. Shadow Mareep, aka the Mighty Sheep. So here we are. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we lead Shadow Vulpix into Shelmet. Apparently we do lose this in the one shield. However, Vulpix does win CMP, so I always like to play this out, looking to take shield advantage. The opponent gonna throw a charge move. I'm gonna call it's just a body slam, and it is just a body slam. I can now throw one, get this weather ball off before the opponent makes body slam. Number 2, the opponent does commit a shield. I am just going to allow Vulpix to go down and look to get ahead in energy with Mareep. Mareep definitely needs shields. In case you're wondering, if you even look at it the wrong way, it will faint. So we are going to shield up this next body slam. I can then overfarm, fire a body slam to get rid of this silly little Shelmet, and then we'll have residual energy. Good to go. Mareep hits like an absolute truck, so hopefully I'll be getting shields back or big damage from whatever comes in. The opponent sends in Dino. Dino pretty thick. This is a non-stab body slam, but it still does huge damage. I'm going to outpace the body slam. Number 2, let's see what the opponent wants to do. Are they going to commit that final shield? They are not, and I'm going to instantly pivot into Purrloin, preventing any farm down. The opponent has a Shadow Skunky in the back. This is going to be tricky. I need to make 2 moves. We're pretty glassy, however, we do resist bites. We fire off the first Night Slash. The opponent commits a shield. We survive the bite. And this is going to be all she wrote. As Purrloin hits like a truck, even resisted, we managed to take that game. Moving on to the next one. We see a pretty neutral matchup. Shadow Vulpix into Ducklett. All of our ice type damage does hit for neutral due to their water flying type, and the opponent goes straight for a bubble beam, and that doesn't do all that much damage. I'm now going to overfarm, fire off the weather ball. Weather ball still does decent damage even with a debuff, as we do hit pretty hard. The opponent shields up. This again is just a bubble beam. I am going to tank it and look to aggressively pivot into Mareep the mighty sheep. The opponent looks like they panic switch into Seel, and my god, Seel, you are going to be in big trouble. I'm not baiting, going straight for the discharge. The opponent now all shields down. I'm easily going to shield this move up. Look to overfarm. Seel is incredibly thick, and as always I just powered this Pokemon up, went straight into battle. I don't think body slam would knock out, so I'm going for the safe play, firing off the discharge. Discharge returns them to the Pokeball. They send out Dino. We've already seen this body slam going to do massive damage. Body slam gets some low. I have a move on Vulpix, but I don't throw it as I don't want to get wing attack farm down. As my switch timer isn't up, I'm just going to choose to come in with the Purrloin, look to sucker punch this all the way down, have a move ready for the Ducklet. The opponent sends out that Ducklet. We've got the Night Slash locked and loaded. This is going to knock out, and one sucker punch should be enough to take care of the Dino, and we're off to a 2-0 start. You love to see it. Moving on to the next one. Vulpix into Sandshrew, a huge core breaker for the team, but you can see from the coverage in the intro, we've got a lot of core breakers, so we're just going to play our way around it. The opponent throws the Night Slash. I continue to overfarm. The opponent sends out Ducklet, and here comes Mareep, the mighty sheep. The opponent gets caught on a CMP tie, and again, there's no baiting. We go straight for the discharge. The opponent calls the body slam. They get absolutely wrecked. The mighty sheep, rank 4, great IVs, putting in work. The opponent sends out Sand Slash. I do believe we might survive a non-stab Night Slash. Let's see, can we survive? Yes, we can. Then rank 4 IVs coming in clutch. Mareep makes discharge number 2, and we're forced shield advantage. So despite losing lead, we're now sitting in an alright spot. I come in, throw the crunch. Does the opponent want to commit that final shield? They do not. I pivot out into Purrloin. The opponent thought they could save a shield for the Shadow Bite user and they'd be fine. However, Purrloin, the absolute MVP of this cup, says, I think not, Mr. Opponent. They shield up the first Night Slash. We're already at number 2, and Purrloin is the superior Dark type. You heard it here first. GG's, and thanks for playing. And as if by some miracle, we managed to win another battle, heading into the next battle. We lead Vulpix into Shelmet. The opponent does me a huge favour. They throw the body slam as soon as they get it. So now if I throw at correct time in 2-turn versus freeze, I throw 1 powder snow and the charge move. The opponent is now 2 quick moves away from the body slam. I am 6 turns also, which is 3 quick moves for me. We manage to CMP ties. The opponent's going to be forced to make the first shielding decision of the game. This puts us in a prime spot. I can allow Vulpix to go down. I can come in Mareep. Infestation doesn't do all that much fast move pressure, so I'm going to return the shield thundershock all the way down, and we can unleash our hard hitting charge moves. We do manage to get the full thundershock farm down. The opponent sends out Dino. We're so far ahead in energy. I fire off the first body slam. The opponent lets it go. We're already at body slam number 2, but I throw 1 extra fast move. The second body slam secures the knockout. We see Bonzor, and hi Bonzor, meet your worst nightmare. The opponent definitely should be reaching for the top left, however they are not. So we are just going to have to play it out. I'm already well over a Night Slash. I fire off the first. I then throw 1 more Sucker Punch and the second. This is going to get them super low. We've still got a shield. The opponent looking to double up on charge moves. They don't make it. And Purrloin absolutely deletes yet another Bonzor. Moving on to the next one. Surprise, surprise, we see another Bonzor. This isn't a particularly bad matchup for our Vulpix. Depending how XL the opponent is, 2 crunches can knock out. It looks like this one isn't all that XL, as 2 crunches will definitely be knocking out. The opponent needs the heavy slam or gyro ball to take us out. The opponent goes for the correct play. We would have survived the side shock. I am now going to look to come in with the little kitty, with the razor sharp claws. I am going to shield once. Commit to the full Sucker Punch farm down. I hope I can get some shields back. However, the opponent gives up switch. They send out Chinchou. Chinchou, pretty glassy. Well, at least I think. I don't really play Little Cup, but the Thundershock seems to be doing quite a lot, despite them only being neutral, so I went for the body slam bait. The opponent is going to full YOLO the Thunderbolt. We survive on minimal HP, and now I'm going for the kill shot. Does the opponent want to give up that final shield? They do not. They get wrecked. The opponent's final Pokemon is Drifloon, so I've just got to get off these moves before the switch timer pops up, and that's going to be another big dub. We fire off the first Night Slash. The opponent shields it up. The switch timer doesn't pop. This Night Slash more than enough to get the one shot. Down goes the balloon. We get the boost just for no reason, and we seal another big dub. You can see we're actually 4-0. I don't know how, but this team actually worked out quite well. Moving on to the next battle. Vulpix into Wish Daddy Cash Jr., aka Barboach. The opponent goes for the Mud Bomb, and that did a lot of damage. Holy smokes, Barboach looks pretty attack weighted, as that did far more than I was expecting. We draw a shield with the first Weather Ball. The opponent lets me get off Weather Ball number 2, and the opponent commits the final shield, so I aggressively switch out into my favourite pussy, aka Purrloin. I am going to shield this up. It's going to be a CMP tie to the charge. It looks like we win CMP. The pussy once again coming in clutch. Night Slash secures the knockout. We've still got 1 shield. The opponent is all shields down. However, they've got a Wooper. Double Mud Boys is definitely not anything our sheep wants to see. I am going to shield up the body slam. I'm going to overfarm by 3. I don't want to throw on CMP. In case Wooper wins that, I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't really play Little Cup, but we managed to secure the knockout. The opponent's got a Bonzor in the back, and this should be game over. We fire off the Night Slash. Night Slash going to do huge damage. I'm going to look to make a catch for no reason whatsoever, just to flex on the basic picture of an opponent. The opponent held their energy. They fire off the side shot. Side shot doesn't knock out Mareep. Going to have his moment to shine. Countering a Bonzor as this discharge secures another big dub. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Shadow Alolan Sandslash. This is dreadful, as all 3 of our Pokemon have a pretty poor matchup here. And as they're a Shadow, these Night Slashes do a lot of damage. That does huge damage to us. I'm not going to bait with a double resisted move. However, I imagine the opponent is going to shield, which they do. So I'm going to have to switch out into Purrloin so the opponent doesn't get too far ahead in energy. I am going to shield up the resisted Night Slash. I've tanked 1. Shadow on Shadow Crime. It does like 50%. I need to keep this Purrloin healthy. I'm going to return fire with my own Night Slash. The opponent commits the final shield, which puts us in a really dreadful spot. The opponent then Powder Snow farms us all the way down. I send out Vulpix, looking to force the opponent to throw. It's going to be Mareep versus the Wild Night Slash. Takes us out. The opponent gets Thundershock farm down. Can Mareep sweep the team? No, I'm just going to top left. Moving on to the next one, we see Grimer running Bite in the lead. Bite doesn't generate energy all that well. The opponent sends out Seel, so I'm going to look to chip it with a Crunch. If the opponent lets it go, I can probably shield once and thundershock them all the way down. That did huge damage, so that is the play I'm going to go for. The opponent might be running a triple fast move pressure team, so I just need to get off as much energy as possible to try and force some shields off the opponent. We now are absolutely loaded. If the opponent sends out Grime and they're going to be forced to shield twice, I go for the discharge in case the opponent doesn't want to shield. I think straight body slam is probably the better play. However, fuck it, we're going to YOLO 2 kill shots. Let's see if the opponent wants to double shield. They do commit both shields. You can see I could have went for 3 body slams. However, I don't know if body slam does enough damage. We send out Vulpix, force the opponent to throw. Crunch takes us out. We got 1 shield Purrloin versus the Wild. The opponent sends out Sandshrew. And we should be good to go. I'm just going to shield up the Night Slash. I'm going to over farm just a touch. We're going to throw 1 Night Slash at the Sandshrew. Sandshrew, super glassy. They get taken out. Grimer on minimal HP is going to get knocked out by Night Slash number 2. And that is another Shadow Purrloin sweep. You love to see it. Apparently, the opponent wasn't a big fan as they force closed their app. And we get another unnecessary boost. Fun fact, I've only had boosts when I'm killing something. I never had a boost mid-battle. Moving on to the next one. Vulpix into Seel. I aggressively switch into Mareep. Mareep is hitting 4 super effective. However, I would say as our soft counter, as our dark typing on the pussy does resist the licks. The opponent no shielded the discharge. They near got 1 shot. They now send out Bonzor. And Mareep is going to get off a couple of discharges. Mareep hits pretty hard. Bonzor pretty thick, but you can see 3 would be enough to secure the knockout. However, we're so glassy, I don't think we're going to make 3. The second discharge gets them deep in the yellow. As I'm down a shield, I am in a bit of a tricky spot. I'm going to have to come in with the pussy. I'm hoping they're on payback and side shock. Please don't have heavy slam or gyro ball. The opponent hits us for big neutral damage. The opponent's still hanging on to 2 shields and they've got a potential sack swap. So we need to be careful of that. The opponent sends out Ducklett. I anticipate the switch. We snipe the Seel with a powder snow. The opponent goes straight for a bubble beam. We do easily survive 1. The opponent still has 2 shields though. We need to get rid of these shields. I'm going to look to throw on CMP to the next charge move to not allow them any free wing attacks. The opponent actually lets that go as well. I am going to commit my final shield here as I believe Powder Snows probably do more than Sucker Punch. And now it's going to be a fast move beatdown. Can we farm them down before they farm us down? We cannot, and we're going to get Brave Birded to the face with a reverse 2 shield flex. Very, very nicely done from the opponent. I'll take that loss because I think the opponent played that spot on. Moving on to the next one. We see Vulpix into Dino, a great lead after a rough loss. The opponent save switches into Bonzor, and we have the hardest check of them all. I am going to overfarm, fire off the Night Slash. The opponent should never shield the first, however this opponent thinks Bonzor can 2 shield its way through everything. I am going to shield up a potential heavy slam or gyro ball. The opponent baits me with a side shock, so I'm going to look to CMP tie to the next side shock. The opponent doesn't throw. We allow a full free confusion through, however the opponent commits that final shield and we're already at the next one. So that shield was pretty pointless. The pussy takes care of the Bonzor. We have shield advantage, however this Dino is going to Dragon Breath us all the way down. They've now got residual energy. Vulpix does tank any one move. The opponent goes straight for a body slam, so I am going to tank it. They're pretty much in body slam range now, the opponent's final Pokemon is Seel and hashtag I am the algorithm. We're hard countering this opponent left, right and centre. However, as they're using a BBML team, they absolutely deserve it. I shield up the Aqua Tail, over farm, fire off the discharge. Discharge will be knocking out. We've got the body slam. Good to go, and the opponent says fuck that, we're out of here. Moving on to the next one. Vulpix into Bonzor, not the best matchup. The confusions are really chunky. I actually prefer the tackle variant. However, we are still going to make the Crunch. Crunch does draw a shield, which is a bit puzzling. The opponent then throws a charge move. If this is a side shock, it will not be enough to knock out. The opponent goes for the gyro ball and ouch, that hurt. I send in Purrloin. The opponent gives up switch, sending in the Seel. We're at shield advantage, so you already know hashtag no bait on this channel. Discharge returns the Seel to the Pokeball. Mareep living up to his name as the mighty sheep. I'm then going to make another discharge for some chip damage on the Bonzor. This now puts him into Night Slash range. If the opponent looks to farm us all the way down, we're going to make 1 more discharge. This discharge should almost knock out. Let's see if the opponent gives up that final shield. They do not. Mareep absolutely going off. They've got Licky, far too thicky. In the back, I'm going to go fishing for the boost. The opponent gives up that final shield. So you already know it's now time for the bad manners. The opponent's win con at this stage is me dying, having a heart attack. However, I'm still fit, alive and kicking. They're not going to make 3 body slams, and we're going to show them all about Purrloin's coverage. Eat a play rough. Licky, not thick enough today, buddy. GG's, and thanks for playing. Big yikes. We see Why Not in the lead, and Why Not give it to me, as we've had a pretty good run. It's about time I got wrecked. This thing deletes all 3 of our Pokemon. It was the #1 top ranked threat to the team, but the opponent let go of the crunch. That did pretty big damage. I don't want to shield a Miracle, as Miracle isn't the best move, but we actually show a lack of bulk. The opponent now sends out Stunky. Can we make 2 body slams? The opponent lets go of the first. We don't make the second, but that big chip damage is really useful. The opponent is now in a range where you can sucker punch them down before they make a charge move. We've still got 2 shields apiece. This is looking still pretty tough, but let's see if we've got any play. We make the first Night Slash. The opponent gives up the first shield. We should make Night Slash #2 before we get farmed down. It looks like a CMP tie, as I didn't see a counter go through. The opponent lets that go as well. We get the boost. They've got Bonzor in the back. They've only got 1 shield remaining. We throw on alignment like an absolute potato. I panic through. If I'm honest, the opponent lets it go. We've got Vulpix. We can now shield this up. Can we get the resisted Powder Snow farm down? Come on, Vulpix. Get there, Vulpix. Get there. GG's, buddy. Let's fucking go. We beat a Why Not by the absolute skin of our teeth. Moving on to the next one, we see a Gligar in the lead. This is a Pokemon that's ranked really high on PvPoke. That's the first one I've ever seen. The opponent switches out into Ducklett. I imagine they're going to shield up the body slam. They do not. However, this is now a chance for us to shield once, thundershock them all the way down. The opponent full YOLOs the bird. We're going to have residual energy. Good to go. And if Gligar does return, we do resist the wing attacks. I look to CMP tie the opponent. They don't fall for it. However, body slam still going to do big damage. The opponent commits that first shield. They then CMP tie us to the second move. So best case scenario for us, body slam. Draws the second shield as well. Holy smokes. What does the opponent have in the back? Is it something else weak to electric? That doesn't take us out. So I look to snipe with the Weather Ball. The opponent is unshielded. They don't switch out quick enough. Weather Ball returns Gligar to their Pokeball. They've got Bonzor. We can hit him with a Crunch. Crunch going to put him in Night Slash range, and we're looking good to go here. Crunch does huge damage. If the opponent tackles us all the way down, we could be in a bit of a tricky spot. However, the opponent does dump energy, so this is absolute game over. I send out Purrloin. The opponent doesn't top left. Even a Heavy Slam or Gyro Ball won't knock out, so we're going to save 1 extra shield for Mareep in the next battle. The opponent goes for the bait, and I'm going to go for the BM. Play rough is resisted, but still enough to secure the dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. So those were the battles with Shadow Mareep, aka the Mighty Sheep, in the Little Cup. Would I recommend this Pokemon? I think it's alright if I'm honest. It's pretty hard, but its lack of bulk is brutal. So if you're a Spice Lord, like myself, it's a pretty fun pick. It does big damage to things like Ducklett and Seel that are both really common. I'm wasting so many resources to bring these spicy, fun battles to you. So if you're enjoying the content, please consider leaving a like. It's absolutely free and helps me reach a wider audience. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on the channel, my battle submission form is listed down below. I'd like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.